This episode of A Guide Reborn is brought to you by Netflix. For a free 30-day trial, head on over to netflix.com/GameBreakerTV and consider that first show on me. Hello, Internet, and welcome to another edition of A Guide Reborn, the official guide series for XIVNation.com. I am your host, Magic Man, and you're getting a double dose today. I did a quick short video earlier on changing grand companies, so if you are curious about how to do that, that video is on this YouTube channel as well, or you can come on over to XIVNation.com, check it out there. In this guide, we're going to take you through the Aurum Vale. Now, this is a level 47 dungeon if you're using the Duty Finder. It's going to cap at 49. If you're level 50, you'll be synced down one level. Now, I'm not going to show you the entire instance. There's no reason for that. I mean, you've been clearing trash for levels and levels and levels now, but there are a few kind of quirky little things I'll point out along the way, and of course we will cover all three bosses. Now, I did leave this room on a little bit because one of the key portions of this dungeon is these lovely yellow pools. You'll see them throughout the entire dungeon. Now, just to be clear, yes, they damage you. Don't stand in them. This whole dungeon is focused on plant life, bile, just wildlife in general. So you're going to come across a bunch of Malboro-type creatures, so get ready for bad breath and all of the status effects that comes with that attack. So stay on your toes, stay out of the red. Don't be a baddie. Now, one of the things that's kind of unique about this dungeon is that, especially in areas like this first room that you see, is there really isn't a path. It's a big room, and you've got to find your way through it. So there's quite a bit of variance in what patrols and what groups you and your group may fight versus what you see my particular group fighting here. You do have options. I will tell you, just to give you a little bit of a heads up, you want to cheat this room, this first room, to the right a little bit because there is a treasure coffer over there on the right as you reach the far side of the room and just in front of the boss's chamber. Most of the monsters in this initial room have the attacks that you're used to. I'm sitting there typing, so I get to stand in the poison. Yay! But the Nixes will do their jump. They're all abilities that you've seen already. You're very familiar with. You know how to handle them. So this shouldn't be too hard getting through this first room. Healers, get ready. This dungeon is a good heal check on your capabilities because for particularly the bosses, two of the bosses in particular, you're going to be healing a large portion of your party. Everybody will be taking damage at relatively the same times. Now, you can already see the boss chamber in front of us. We're going to jump ahead in a second and go take a look at the first boss fight. You don't need to watch us clear out more of these Lily of the Vales. Now, the first boss's name is Locksmith. And you're going to notice around the room, you'll see marble fruits. And they're pretty much at each corner of the room, basically, for all intents and purposes. What you want to do is the tank should tank next to one. That way they're relatively close. And then everybody else ranged should go stand next to one. Obviously, don't have two people standing next to the same damn fruit. Melee, this one's a little rough on you. You're going to have to run in and out of the fight. It's not, obviously, you're not running that far, so it shouldn't be too much of a big deal. That attack right there, Gold Lung, is a room-wide AoE that puts a debuff on you. You cannot do anything about it. And what you want to do is let this get to about 2 stacks. You can see my debuff bar that I have 1 right now. So I'm going to wait for the next gold attack to burst through here. There it is. I've got Gold Lung times 2. Eat the fruit. It takes the debuff off. The reason we're waiting for 2 stacks is that there is a timer on when the fruit will spawn again. While we have that debuff, we're taking damage over time, so healer, If you can go more than 2 stacks, fine. We really didn't have a problem with this fight when we going 2 stacks, so that's what I would recommend. It's a pretty aggressive fight for healers, just to keep everybody's health up there, as everybody's taking a debuff tick every couple of seconds. Other than that, the rest of the fight is pretty straightforward. There's AoE attacks that you see going off in red circles. The tank and our melee DPS are trying to stay out of that. I just got randomly targeted with it, so I'll get out of it. It's not too bad. If that stuff hits you, it can, depending on how many stacks of gold lung you have, it can really, really hurt. So it is important. The healer's under enough duress at this point, just keeping everybody topped, that they don't need you taking additional damage. Other than that, it's a typical burn as long as you control your stacks of gold lung, eat the fruit when you're supposed to, and stay out of the occasional AoE splash of gold damage. Do, yeah. Gotta love the name Locksmith, it's very funny, very cool. 2 stacks of gold lung again. We'll go and eat some fruit. Come on back. Status ailments are healed, and back to burning the boss. It's very rinse and repeat. The healer is really... If you can't heal this fight, by the way, and okay, maybe you're not geared enough, maybe you don't have the practice enough, we're still not at level cap yet. If you can't heal this fight, then you probably want to change some gear out and try again, or practice a little bit, get a party that's willing to wipe on it a few times. Because if this fight is tough for you, you have almost no chance at the last fight in this dungeon. So don't bang your heads against the wall. If you're getting just royally rocked by Locksmith and it's a healing problem, then go and change some things up with the healer, and then come on back and try again. This is a duty finder group, though, so if you're having those kinds of problems, then maybe we're in more trouble than we need to go through in a guide for the Veil here. Alright, so we're going to go and pick up our treasure. If any of you still have the buff when the fight is over by the treasure coffer, there is obviously fruit here for you. Take it, get rid of that debuff. Moving forward, you're going to roll through a couple of rooms that are swamps and things like that. You want to burn down seeds because they turn into sproutling ads. The scorpions can hit a little hard, but for the most part, the trash is pretty basic. You get to Coin Counter, though, who is the second boss, and most of, in fact, all of Coin Counter's abilities are melee-related, but none of them have the lovely red telegraphs that you're waiting for. So we've got the 10 tons sweep, which is a frontal cone attack. So if the tank turns Coin Counter around and everybody else is behind him, not a big deal for that one. You've got 100 ton swipe. This is another frontal cone, but it reduces a tank to about half health. So for all of us, that's pretty much a one-shot. Like, my Black Mage would get one-shot by it pretty much. And then the last one is 100 tons swing instead of a swipe. And that hits hard enough that it's going to kill everybody. So stay behind the boss and run away from both 100 tonses. It's that easy. So when you see those cast bars go off, get the hell out of the way. Run away from the boss. There's another 2 mechanics here. Eye of the Beholder that you just saw there. Oh, 100 ton swipe. I think I'm back far enough. Yeah, no, I wasn't. It's basically the eye attack there. It's not really an attack. It's an aggro reset. The entire table, aggro table, is swiped, and you got to start from scratch. So when you see Coin Counter scan the room, stop. Let the tank initiate, and then carry on. So give your tank a second there. When you see Coin Counter do that scan, just cut it out and let the tank do their thing. Every once in a while, Glower there, or Glower, will target a random person, and you saw that that's just pretty much a laser strike that guns out from coin counter directly to whoever was being targeted. Don't run forward, don't run back, because it's just pretty much from coin counter to the end of the room. So get off of that attack on the left or the right, just like that. I get off on the left-hand side. And I totally didn't. Oh, I was such a baddie on this fight. Oh, well. I was too worried about trying to get the names of the abilities for the video. So yeah, there you go. A basic strategy for you guys. Healers, this shouldn't be too bad. The tank is going to need the heals more than anybody else should. But you've got the 10-ton swipe, the 100-ton swipe, the 100-ton swing, glower or glower, whichever you prefer. And then the eye ability when coin counter scans the room is an aggro reset. You just need to stop what you're doing and let the tank pick him back up. Burn, 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 burn. This was, with a duty group, a duty finder group, this was a one-shot. So it really isn't that hard. And when you hear that there's no telegraphs, you might get a little nervous, but don't. Just pay attention to what's being cast and when. You'll be fine. And on my video, you get to see when my black mage became level 50. Awesome. I remember those days. You're almost there, gang. It's not far to Miser's Mistress, the last boss. Now, this is very, very, very similar to the first boss, and then adds in some stuff from the Marlborough rooms that the seedlings were in as you got to the second boss. This time, you're going to get a debuff from Miser's Mistress, except you want to let this one get to about 3 stacks. If your healer can handle it, go 4 stacks. Reason? Your Marble Fruits don't spawn as fast as they did on the first fight. Stay out of bad breath. If you have to be told that by now, good grief, people. Good grief. The fruits don't spawn as fast as they did for the first fight. So you need to be taking at least 3 stacks. If your healer can withstand it, take 4. And here it is. It's Burrow, that right there. Now, the difference between this and the first fight, though, is that this is not a damage over time. You see, I highlighted it so you can see the effect there. It's burrs. It's instant damage. So you want to take these as many as you can. Again, 3 or 4 stacks. We did 3 here. And then ate the fruit. That's pretty much it for the first part of this fight. The second part is a bit of a DPS race to burn down some ads. So we've got a lot of AoE damage going on here that the healer is trying to keep everybody topped off for. And then the DPS is going to have a little bit of a race burning down ads. The seedlings, the Marble seedlings that you saw earlier. Yeah, Miser's going to drop a bunch of pods. Should be coming up here right at around 50%. And you need to burn those bad boys ASAP. Drop AoEs, whatever you need to do to burn a group of them. Let me go get a fruit since I'm at 3. Because the seeds, just like they did in previous rooms on your way here they are, these fruits. These fruits will spawn into the Marble seedlings, and they will run amok, and they will start stacking damage debuffs, and it gets out of hand. You'll get run over, and the damage will become too much for your healer. So drop your AoE, do whatever you need to do to burn those down while they're fruits, and if a seedling or 2 ends up popping, get rid of them as fast as possible, because we don't want the healer to run out of MP, and that's what this fight's all about. So I've got 1 stack of burrs on me, so I'm good there. I'll just keep doing my cycles. We're still waiting. Here comes second burr. Good. Now you see that I've got the burrs debuff added. Everything's going well here, not too bad. This gets a little bit dicey at the end, so you'll see my Black Mage bust out and heal myself for a little bit. just because there was some AoE stuff that I had to get out of, and so we're going to burn down some fruits here, pop a couple Blizzard 2s. Looks like we're going to get a seedling or two. Yeah, and so we've got to burn these guys down too. The last thing we want is them going after the healer. A lot going on in this fight. This was actually a really fun fight. And again, it was the Duty Finder group. I can't remember if we one-shotted this or not. I'd have to look at the raw footage again. If we didn't one-shot this, we cleared it on the second attempt. So you can do these fights with duty groups. You just got to pay attention to what you're doing, and it helps if somebody obviously knows the fight. Miser's at about 25%. I've got 2 stacks of burrs, so I'm good. We've got no ads. Obviously trying to stay out of bad breath. Vine attack, as long as you're behind, you're okay. So, yeah, you've got, if you're DPS or heals, you've got to worry about burrs, eating fruit. You're going to take occasional DPS or AoE damage. Tank, you're going to get hit with a couple extra things in front. Now look at this, almost dead, almost dead. I get a heal dropped on me, and then I bring myself up because I knew I was so far out of range because I needed to get off of that AoE. But Miser's Mistress is almost down. That completes the Aurum Vale. Congratulations, GG, guys, you did it. This is Magic Man saying if you like the video, click like, subscribe, write a comment down below. And until next time, come on over to xivnation.com, hang out with us a little bit, stay safe, and we'll see you out on the servers.